Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. The Gladius Mini has finally come in. Now this thing is not even a final product in mass production yet. Chasing Innovation, the company that created this awesome sub, and also the Gladius version 1 and 2 has created the Mini. They said that the controller is going to change a little bit, but we're going to get into it with this review. This is going to be another multi-part. We're going to have an unboxing, inspection, and setup. We're going to show how it looks on the iPad, and then we're going to do a pool test. We're going to do ocean testing and possibly some nighttime ocean testing, and also maybe take it up to that waterfall pond I like to go in to look for my long lost Mavic. So sit back, relax, and let's dig into the new Gladius Mini and see what we get. It does have a portable backpack. This is kind of the pre-production model, so I don't have a backpack. The backpack is not ready yet, but they are going to send me one when it is, and I'll be able to show all of you. One touch depth lock. If you remember, the Firefish P3 I reviewed has that depth lock, but now check this out. Since it has 3 motors on top, 1, 2, 3. Remember the previous Gladius only had 2 on top. This has a 3rd, so that's going to allow us to do tilt lock mode, which is really sought after when you're inspecting and stuff. Pitch it in any way you want and then start going forward or reverse or turn, whatever you want to do, or even downwards and do that. One touch share on social. It has a 4K UHD camera just like the version 1 and 2 did. It can dive to 100 meters, same as the other one, and it also can do live stream, and it has 2 hours of runtime. Of course, that's going to vary depending on how much you're throttling it and stuff. So a little bit smaller, you get a little bit less runtime, but check it out. That's what the box looks like. Nothing major to look at, but on the other side, we do see that we've got, that's how the controller looks. Now they're giving us a nice large controller with thumbsticks and a big bracket here to put on your phone or tablet. We have a little Wi-Fi module here, and we don't have a buoy anymore or a reel stand. All we have is this kind of cable tether winding handheld reel. Okay, here is the moment of truth. Looks like it's done pretty well packed. There's just a top piece of foam there, and here we go. Check this out. So this is the top tier. It looks like there's 2 tiers, and the reel is going all the way through the 2 tiers. Here is the Wi-Fi module. We've got the controller here. We've got some cabling, ballast module. We have a plug here. This looks like the clamp that's going to hold your phone or tablet there. And then we have a power plug. This looks like the bracket that goes on the controller. So let's pull this up. Okay, here's the tether, little wrapping reel here, nothing else in there. And we're gonna pull this Gladius Mini out, and then we'll put this box on the side. Wow, look at that thing. So cool, there it is, the Gladius Mini in all of its new glory. Here's the reel tether. This is a 100-meter tether, remember. We're gonna go over these 2 in a second. But I wanna pull all this other stuff out of the box. There we go. It's a Wi-Fi module that attaches to one end of the tether, and then the other end of the tether attaches to the Mini here. We do have a reset switch there. Just spinning this around, we want to take a good look at it before we take everything else out. There's our LED lights for our power and our signal strength, and then we have 4 kind of silicone feet for it to stick nicely, and then just an on-off button right there on the bottom. It does have this plastic little cover here, so I wanted to pull this off and show you guys what's in here. Could be a big deal for some people. SD card slot there, so you can record straight to the SD card, get a high-speed SD card, pop it in there, and you'll record everything onto here instead of having it locked into the Mini there. And this may also be huge for a lot of people. Check this out, an HDMI output. If you have a HDMI television or computer, and you can output that directly to another screen. So that's a big thing for a lot of people instead of just having it on your iPad or smaller phone device. Doesn't look like this thing's going to be waterproof, so we want to keep this away from any splashing in water. We've got a power plug and a wall plug, so of course this has the figure 8 adapter that goes in there. Plug that into our wall. This looks like I have the US, great, because I'm in the US, and this is where we're going to plug into the top of the ROV here to charge it, and also into the tether to charge it as well. So we're going to have to charge each one individually. 2 assemblies for the phone or tablet. So it looks like this is kind of one of those ball joint type of brackets that we mount our phone or tablet in. This is the one that's going to clamp into the controller, and then we're going to put this on the ball joint, snaps in, tighten it a little bit, and then up from the controller, speaking of the controller, it's right here. Look at that thing, that's pretty cool. Nice yellow to match the sub and all the other stuff. Power slide switch here. And we have our battery status, and this is gonna be connecting through Bluetooth. I see a Bluetooth light blinking there to connect to our phone or tablet. There's our motor lock unlock. There is our depth lock mode here. Nice, large, pretty high joysticks with a really nice feel to them. They don't have much grip on them, but they feel like they're not gonna slip because they have this little indentation in the top. And they feel really smooth. I'm feeling like the gimbals are not too tight. A lot of controllers, the gimbals are really tight, so you're kind of fighting the springs in there, but the springs feel really soft. It does feel good, actually. Nice little Chasing Innovation branding there. Little neck strap tether if you wanted to utilize that. Spinning right over to the top here, we have our picture and record button there. Roller wheel here that just keeps on spinning in both directions. That's where we're gonna plug in that bracket for our tablet or phone. This looks like our light. Pretty cool. And these, actually both of these do feel like they have a click in as well. So they just keep spinning, there's no spring and there's no endpoints, they just keep going. And then this side we have another video and picture, but there's also kind of a little circular arrow icon there. We're gonna have to see what all that does. Spinning it over to the bottom, just some FCC information. And then actually this one's gonna charge, it looks through a micro USB cable. The last couple of things they have in the box, this guy here. So this is going to be just a regular micro USB cable, and that's how you're going to be charging the controller. And then we also have a nice O-ring set for servicing. There's a bunch of O-rings in here. And check this out. So this is the ballast module. Freshwater on this one. You see there, it's already in, and look at that. It's actually flush to the bottom. In the version 1 and 2, it actually popped out a little bit. So what that means is just a little more weight, because when you go in the seawater, the buoyancy is different. It's gonna wanna float more, so you need more weight to pull it down. Okay, so that looks like everything in the box. Again, guys, I will be getting the backpack when it is ready. And so I'll be able to put this thing in there, show you guys how it all is, and we'll do some tricks with the backpack. Anyway, how this bracket goes on is it looks like it has two little feet that kind of go in the top and they notch in, and then all it is a hole with a actual brass nut down fixed in there. And we're just using this little finger bolt and pulling it tight, and there we go. Look at that. So you can see when we have that on, we can move our screen any way we want because it's on this kind of ball joint. We can tighten that down if we wanted to. Let's try to slip the iPad on just so we can see kind of how it fits. Perfect. So there we go. So you can have a giant iPad on this little controller, and you can adjust it any way you want, up, down, a little bit left, a little bit right. Of course, you can put any kind of aftermarket sun hood on this for drones too, because it has the same type of clamp that drones have. So you could use one of those maybe phantom white sunshades over this if you wanted to, if you're in the sun. So not really too sturdy sitting down, but it will actually sit down if you kind of balance it right on the bottom of the bracket there. It does feel like if you have a flat surface, it'll just sit there standing up. We need to get this stuff out of the way, and we need to get in here to the sub. This is the 100-meter tether. At least it has a handle there so we can hold it. Little O-rings in there for servicing on that end and also on this end. So it actually should not matter which end we use on which. That's great. So let's bring in the Mini here, and here it is. This is what we've been waiting for. The Gladius Mini, looking pretty good. Look how small this thing is. It's tiny compared to the other one. I do have the other one over there. Let me grab that really quick. Oh, and one more thing, guys, that kind of fell out, a whole screw set. So this should be a whole stainless steel screw set for all of these screws to take the shell off and stuff inside there. So don't forget that also comes with it. Anyway, we wanted to compare the two just a little bit. And you can see the Mini on the right here and the version 2 on the left here. Still need to take this one in the saltwater and actually the pool. I'm going to be doing some testing in the pool first. You can see how it's narrower that way, about 2 inches shorter. Looks like it might be a little bit higher depth wise. It's actually lighter too. So it feels like maybe a couple pounds lighter, that's for sure. The reason we like the Mini so much, not only is the compact size, but there is that third motor, which the version 1 and 2 don't have. So a third vertical motor means that we're going to be able to hold these positions like this and like this. It has really a true 360 degree of movement now, and you can hold in those pitch angles as well, which is so awesome and intriguing about this one. Should have the same camera. It is a 4K camera, so we shouldn't be losing any quality in the camera as well, if not possibly gaining a little bit of quality. There it says 4K UHD camera there. Looks like the same lights too, just a little bit more kind of recessed in there. You can see on the version 2 here how there was a little bit more white around there, and they were not quite as recessed. The Mini has them tucked way down in there for protection, so we're gonna have to see how the lighting is on that. And it does just have a lot better fit and finish, it seems, than the version 1 and 2. 2 vertical motors in front, and it looks like they did kind of move them a little bit more forward than that older version, because we do have the rear vertical motor too to really give it that adjustability in our pitch. Larger vents on top now, and it's going to be able to get the air out a lot better than the version 1. You can see how the version 1 on top, they had vents, smaller vents on the top there, in the front and the rear and on the sides, but it looks like the Mini, they went ahead and put larger vents directly over the top where most of the air is going to be trapped here. 2 propellers on the rear, and we can really see the module here for the third vertical propeller. Got a nice view of it there. Looks like they've got their seaming down really good. I remember the version 1 to the version 2, it got a lot better, but now with this Mini, it looks like their fit and finish is just fantastic. So they're really getting good and a lot better at manufacturing these. Here we can see all the screw holes. Now these are all stainless steel screws, so you'll be able to take this thing apart for cleaning and service, especially if you're going through dirty water and sand. I would definitely recommend once in a while take this thing apart and get the sand out, because that will change your buoyancy. That's the freshwater module. That's where we're going to be putting the salt water. If we go in salt water, just 2 screws, pop the old one out, put the new one in you need. Venting on the bottom on the left and right. And that's really just about it, guys, for the Gladius Mini. As far as inspecting the hardware, kind of went over everything that we get in the box. Not too complicated. This is actually a very good design, because we don't want to have too many things like fins and things hanging all over the place to get hooked up when we're down there diving. And so they did a really good job at keeping it kind of just an oval submarine shape. They actually angled this back a little bit. The version 1 and 2 are just straight up, so you had this kind of high cable sticking out, but now they angled it back a little bit lower profile, so that when we are going and doing our dives, you don't have to worry about catching on this thing so much. Anyways, I'm going to charge all this stuff up, and let's get back to the camera with the iPad and see what it looks like on the interface. Of course, on the Mini, we've got this little cap. You just want to take that off of the connector, tether connector. Keep in mind that these 2 tether ports ends actually are both exactly the same, so it does not matter which one you put on to which. So we're just sliding that in. There's only one way you can push it on, and then all we're doing is tightening this guy down pretty darn good. And then on the other end, all we're doing is putting this one right into the wireless module. So again, just twisting till we find the notch, pushing it down in, and then tightening this guy finger tight. Find the on-off button here on the actual Wi-Fi module, turn it on, and this is where we're going to hear the Mini starting to boot up. And check that out, those lights are pretty darn bright. Just the ESC initial boot up, and it should be ready to go. The battery status, and then we have the ROV connection link on blue. So green and blue lights there. We'll turn the controller on, go into our iPad, and you need to have downloaded the IFDive app. So I have it here. It's just if.dive. Want to go into our Wi-Fi settings. We'll click on Wi-Fi, and we want to be wirelessly connecting to this little Wi-Fi router here. And I can see it there on the screen. You can see how it says Gladius. And so I'm going to click on it there. And we're going to want to enter in the passcode. And I believe it should be 1 through 8. So I'm pressing join with the passcode of 1 to 8. Looks like that did it. Great. So we're going to close that up. And all we need to do now is start the IFDive application, which you can get from the App Store. So what'll happen is the Bluetooth will automatically connect. I saw handle connected up there pop up in green. For some reason it knows how to connect through the Bluetooth, no problem automatically. It's pretty awesome. We need short configuration of Wi-Fi, so we'll go begin. And we're doing USA, so that's new. I haven't seen this before. United States, boom, go on. You can do 2G or 5G, interesting. So we're gonna do 5G, go on. Select channel. If you're not sure, you can use first. So I'm just gonna use the first channel, complete. Wi-Fi rebooting success, okay. Okay, so it disconnected and it went back to my home Wi-Fi, so I'm gonna need to go back to the Gladius. I didn't get a manual for this, guys, so I'm just going off of my experience from the version 1 and 2. Okay, so we'll go back into the Gladius, and there we go, that's what I was looking for. So you see the blue, now it says start. So something you can expect, go back and make sure you reconnect to the Gladius. So we'll go start here, and let's see what we got. Cool, so there it is. We're seeing the FPV, and let's do a little bit of a lag test first. So there we go, a couple hundred milliseconds. That's pretty normal for FPV. So if you're familiar with the version 1 and version 2, it's actually just the same. Everything is exactly the same. It's using the same application. It has changed quite a bit from the version 1, but this is basically what the version 2 looks like now. You have your battery percentage. Up top, you have your Wi-Fi connection. You have an indicator that you're connected with the Bluetooth to controller. You have your compass readout here on top there. Camera settings, ISO is auto and our white balance is currently auto. Low, medium, and high speed. So if you need to fight some current, you have those 3 options, or if you're just going slow and trying to get some really slow and smooth video. Unlock and lock your motors from the screen as well. And you can also do your depth from the screen as well. And those are these 2 buttons on the controller also. Cool little cluster over here. Depth gauge, we have our temperature gauge. Now this is a new one I've never seen before. This is like an O2 gauge. That's awesome. So new sensor in the Mini. We have our lights here. So we've got off currently, and then we have our angle. As you move the sub, you can see it has a little graphic there that is also going to show you the orientation. So if it's dark and you're going down and you don't know, you can't see in the camera where you're going, at least you can see where the pitch is for the sub in that little graphic on the bottom left. And then of course over here we can go into VR mode. We can do a live broadcast, or we can put the joysticks on the screen if we wanted to. We'll quickly go up into the main settings, system settings, ROV settings, camera settings, and our handle settings. Expo, linear power, or just the standard there as well. You can also configure some custom keys to whatever you want. Again, we just touch anywhere on the screen to go back, which is pretty cool. If we go into the ROV, we can calibrate it here. We can also choose metric or inch, so imperial or metric, depending on where you live and what you like to do. I would recommend doing a calibration before you do your first dive, which is basically you do your compass calibration and then you can do your IMU. So go ahead and go through all of those things before your first dive and do the calibrations. And then of course we have the system. The only other thing is the settings within the camera or the video over here. And this is where it's gotten a lot better now. You can see how we can change all of these functions now. Since we're on camera mode right now, we can change these camera settings. We'd have to go back out and change to video mode if we wanted to go into the video settings, like so. 1080p or 4K. In 1080p we can go from 30, 60 to 120 frames per second, and in 4K we're limited to only 30 frames per second. You can adjust your bit rate, so of course the higher bit rate you do, the better and clearer video you'll get, but you'll also take up more storage. I do want to try the lights out, so let's get this thing facing us. There's rollers right here on the bottom. You can see my finger there, and so what we'll do is we'll roll this. I think it's the left one, yeah. So I'm rolling it to the right side of the controller, so that's just rolling it. And that's pretty cool. So the percentage is climbing as I roll it. I'm seeing the percentage of the light on the screen down there on the bottom left. You see it getting brighter as I roll it to the right. So So that's full blast, pretty darn bright. Don't want to leave the lights on too long out of the water, so I'm going to roll them down because they need the water cooling. And you know what I'm thinking? This other one on this side, there is a graphic on the roller, and I'm thinking that might be the depth lock pitch adjustment. Roll it one way or the other, and it will slowly pitch and keep the depth locked where you want. But we are definitely going to have to check that out in our dive test, which is coming up next. We're going to do a pool dive and just go through all the functions, kind of line of sight in the pool, and just show you how much different it is than the previous Gladius versions. So I think that's it, guys. We covered everything. I hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget, I will have the link down in the description down below for you to check out the pricing and what this thing is all about. So far, it's so good with this iPad. I was having a little bit of issues with the version 2 with the iPad. It was not syncing correctly. But maybe they did an update and it's working great now, so having no problems whatsoever. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you guys in the pool test, ocean test, and also possibly a waterfall test here in Maui. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.